fire up tubes here, see what happens. Okay, we're back. This is Off-World Pallet Systems in Kerbal, part 38.2, because my computer blue screened in the middle of a live stream. Hell yeah. Do we have a signal over there on YouTube, fellas? Yeah, it's popping through. Honestly, wouldn't get too concerned unless it becomes a pattern. Well, of course. Loud and clear, Stride? Alright, cool. Hello, Mr. Mother Dev over in the YouTube chats. Well, it is called Elgato. My cat does what it wants when it wants. It's like a very good point. Bob, you see the trunk today, dude? Trunk's in. Welded permanently. Not going anywhere. And that thing is super strong back there now, which is pretty sick. And my garage looks so much cleaner without all the car parts all over the floor. Maybe update the Elgato drivers. I'm gonna have to take a look, dude. Yeah. So what the heck were we doing? Oh crap, Kerbal is up there. I'm gonna have to stop it and reopen it down here. It definitely is something. Guys, if I had to guess, dude, I don't think that Elgato card is jiving very well with me running a 4K monitor and then a 1080p monitor up there. I find that it does that no signal thing, that element that you were talking about. I find that it does that when I'm clicking up here and I move something down. Because if you look, see how I'm moving this down and that window is small and then it makes it big? Because the resolution, it moves to the resolution. See that? I don't think it likes that in certain scenarios, dude. Oh, okay, Aqualex. Yeah. Oh, yeah, also Booster 18. Hell yeah. I don't know, Shaw. It could be. Another leg might be coming down soon. Wait till the excavator tips it up. But yeah, that's, let me refire up Kerbal. I better load it on this window. Did you see the Pegasus rocket is still alive? I did see that. I did see that, Phil. The last one. Catalyst Space Systems. Rocket Guy works for them. Yeah. He worked on that payload. That's pretty cool, huh? He came in telling us, he's like, oh, look what I got today. Oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, really? Okay, let's get back to what we were doing. That we were so rudely interrupted. How rude. Blue screen, so rude. No, let's, you know what, let's go with Let's go with the other playlist today. No MSC tonight. No, Phil, probably not. MSC will resume in December. Sounds strange saying that, but... Someone just drove past you in an R32. Nice. Nah, MSC will resume in May. I did hear a whisper, dudes, for what it's worth. I did hear a whisper about the, about my winter car coming out this winter. It's coming out. I heard from a guy who heard it from a guy. Some guy in chat came in and said this. All right. So full disclosure. If my winter car comes out in December, that's like a week and a half away. No more MSC? No, you don't understand. No, you don't understand, Kelly. That means we play summer car in the summer and we play winter car in the winter. No, you don't understand. Here, where's this 2.5 structural panel? That's too big. I need a 375 piece so I can see Condor's fairing. That's two. All right. I think I'm going to switch to a Terrier motor just because it's small and that thing is easy to fit in there. So she said. So 345 to 350 specific impulse, and we could always overclock some Terriers. I'm just saying, or we could cluster them, etc., etc. Really work on I want to work on the chassis to this thing. So the Apollo lander was like this. The way they did it was they did exactly what I'm doing right here. They basically made it a big plus sign, right? This at least was the descent module. Yeah. Let's just put it like, well, actually it'd be better to do that. Right. And then we can move the engine back. Like that. So now they had this design, and what they ended up doing is they put the different types of tanks in here like this. And they had the tanks inside of the bulkheads like this. See that? Like, 2 of them were NTO, 2 of them are MMH. And now in these triangular areas right here, they in the triangular areas, that's where they put, you know, scientific equipment. That's where they put the rover and stuff. Could a rocket shaped like an obelisk work? Does a rocket necessarily need to be round? I know, really weird question out of left field. Blame a brain that's been up since 4 a.m. Yeah, Maddie, you could make it a box. You could make it a square if you really wanted to. You'd have to worry about drag and stuff. The reason why we make them cylindric is, I mean, well, you know, an obelisk probably would break the air fine. You'd probably need some fins on the bottom if we're gonna really, you know, think about it. You'd need fins on the bottom because the top being like pyramidal like that is gonna cause some forward pressure problems. So if you put fins on it, yeah, sure. That I don't see why it wouldn't work. The reason why well, here, let's look at this. Maddie, do you know what this is? You know what that is? The Pantheon. No, that's the Parthenon. The Pantheon is in Rome. What's holding it up? So think about this for a second, dude. It's old. That is correct. What's holding that thing up? Pillars. Cylindrical shapes. Cylindrical shapes are the strongest at dealing with structure. Columns. That's right. You got it. Cylinders are the strongest way to hold anything up. The Greeks figured that out, and it works. And then the Romans lifted it. The Romans culturally appropriated it, we'll say. So, cylinders are very, very strong at dealing with compression load. They're also... fuel tanks inside of a rocket are under pressure, right? If it was a square, you'd be putting a lot of extra pressure. The fuel would be putting a lot of extra pressure on the corners, right? Your pressurized fuel, right? A cylinder is good at dealing with pressure pushing out and pressure and forces pushing down because of the aerodynamic compression load, because of like dynamic pressure and stuff. So cylinder is the strongest way to do it. Could you make one out of an obelisk? Yeah, sure. I mean, here. Could you make an obelisk shape? Sure. You absolutely could. Could you, oh, I don't know, launch that obelisk into space? Yeah. Has this been, how do I know? It's been done. No, this isn't an AI-generated video. It's the DCX. That's Buddy right there. It's not Buddy. Yeah, it's been done. The Dawn Aerospace Cube Drive Propulsion Systems has tanks that are cubes. Really? Nice. Do you think you'll put My Summer Car on pause and figure out the ticket situation later? I don't know, Dan. I'm not really sure how I'm going to figure out what I want to do with that. I've seen someone also make an entirely square motor, square nozzle with a square throat, and it actually worked. I think he's working on a triangle motor now. Why? Huh, why? Yep, that's the DCX, guys. So, yeah, I mean, it's obelisk shaped because of the weird tanks. Why? Why not? I guess. This is pre-Boeing? This is in the early 90s, dude. Yeah. Yeah, DCX flew, guys. It was a working prototype. They flew it. They did tons of hops with it, actually. And then on one hop, the damn thing tipped over, and they were like, up! Up! It tipped over! Tipped over! Nope, that means the vehicle's no good. No good. This program isn't going anywhere. Scrap it. And that's exactly what happened. Can you imagine how absurd that would be in today's like commercial space market? The thing lands, and it does what Falcon 9 did with Jason 3. It just, one of the landing legs gives out, it tips over and blows up. Nope. 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 Can't do that. Nope. There's a design flaw in the vehicle. We gotta stop. Pull all the funding. You know, and you wonder why, you know, like legacy aerospace, like the old space contractors, you wonder why they're so conservative with, like, you know, if you look at something like SLS, you look at something like Atlas V, you look at something like Vulcan, it's very conservatively engineered, right? It's as simple as it possibly can be, right? For the most amount of punch. Because the guys that engineered these legacy systems, not, you know, imagine if you worked on like Delta 4 and Atlas 5, right? You worked on Delta 4 and Atlas 5. That's the environment you came of age in as an aerospace engineer, where one failure is going to cost you the entire damn project. And you wonder why these guys don't want to iterate on anything. Because they had to deal with that nonsense for 20 years. That's not one. I can't do that. Yep. No, we can't do that. We can't. It failed. No, the Aqualux, the Bilog tanks failed. They failed. They're no good. They failed. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a prototype. It failed. No, just use the space shuttle. Just. Anyway. No, it failed. It's not gonna work. Anyway, good tangent. It's failed. It's not gonna work. You know how much tax money you just wasted? Get to the taxpayers. Get to the taxpayers. Just think of it. Give me pork with sugar. More. But yeah, anyway, you wonder why some of the legacy aerospace contractors don't even want to. Why try anything? Why freaking try anything? It's like they were traumatized by these idiot politicians to not innovate on anything ever. And that's, you know what? That's really sad. It's really sad, man. That's really sad. Yeah, they had that voice too, yeah. Can we, like, scrap politicians? Yeah, I know, right? Not really what I'm looking for. What the hell? This thing crooked? Oh, there it goes. Can we do more deep dives like that? That was really fun to think things through. That made learning seem more fun than the crap that made me give up on a college education. Oh, jeez. Yeah, sure, man. Alright, dudes. How much Delta V does this bad boy have? Oh. Hang on. Get our forward set of fuel tanks right here. Nice. Not bad. What you building? New descent module. New descent module architecture, man. China. What's China building? Maybe later, Pigeon. I wanted to play some Kerbal. So, guys, I'm looking at a reuse. I'm looking at trying to do a reusable descent module, and this thing's gonna need to be able to put some heavy stuff down. Hey, Charles, what's up, man? It's gonna need to. It's gonna have to put some heavy stuff down onto the surface. And I'm looking to make it, the architecture, kind of in the same way as the lunar descent module from the Apollo program. All right, let's get some kind of readings here. So if I attach that there and we put this here and we mark that 9 tons, it's just mass here. Right, and then we go into vacuum delta 583, that's it? That's not great at all. Talking triangle. Somebody trying to get EJ back into the X33 builds. Oh, boy. Alright, well, what if this tank was integral? What if it was part of it? 4,600. Oh, dear. Oh, okay. I suppose this works. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look around here. Dude, that's so damn smart. I still can't believe that. The X-33 was made to see if Venture Star was possible. How much mass is the crane? That's a good question. $11 tons with the fuel. Okay, so we have a stakeholder expectation here. Good call, Blackness. That was a good idea. This thing needs to be able to put things down onto the surface. It needs to be able to put 11 tons down onto the surface and then be able to come back up. I mean, this is essentially the same exact idea. So why try to reinvent the wheel? I mean, this has 2196. What if we put 9 tons of payload on this thing? 871. Why not just use this? I don't really have an answer. If we wanted to use that rover, though, fellas, the rover design, we would... It'd be hard to unfold the damn thing. Let me think about this. This has multiple engines, Hibbit, for that exact reason. To do a light-duty landing. Yeah, this is for principal deceleration, and this is for your final landing on the moon or on Minmus. On Minmus, you can even switch it down to 2 engines to get good throttle ability. It makes this thing super easy to land. Unfold on lunar surface with docking port on outside to lift. What? Why don't they have arms that come and grab Falcon instead of that slow as chain bot? I have no idea what you're talking about, Alex. I don't have an Octo 2. We don't have an Octo 2 port. We'd have to change that, but that's okay. All right, now, hold on. Let me check something else here. Okay. The hopper concept that we just made. Let me check something. I'm really looking for something specific here. I'll show you what I'm looking for. I'll tell you what I'm looking for in a second. So this is the hopper concept that we just did for the return missions. It was actually pretty good. Let me get all this stuff off of here for a moment. Let's compare and contrast. So this thing, instead of making the bulkheads like, you know, out of fairings, like what we did before, what does this thing do with 9 tons of fuel attached to it. $923. It has more delta V than the RDM. Okay. Okay. Here's what we're doing. I'm going to take all the capability from the reusable descent module. We'll take the capability from that, and we'll put it in this. Fair? Let's go down here. And let's go to reusable RDM prototype 2025. Get rid of all this. This sucks. Get rid of that. Get rid of just. All right, so let's go in here. Save and continue. So the first thing I'm going to need is the RDM itself that we were just testing. So merge that in here. Take that off. Reroute to the docking port right there. It's already rerouted to that. And then just attach that there. There we go. Save. Now, we got to go get the hopper. Merge. It's still attached to the launch vehicle. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Reroute to there. There we go. My struts got all screwed up because of the fairings, which is fine. Yeah, you're seeing the kind of chronology of lander design. This was good. This was a good lander design for me for 2019. This is good for this. But the problem with this is if we're going to do a reusable descent modules, we got to start reconfiguring our RCS. The reaction control systems need to be reconfigured. Why? Why do they need to be reconfigured? Well, if we're building a reusable descent module, right, it needs to be able to go back up and it needs to be able to rendezvous with something, does it not? Actually, I mean, it's basically just going to be attaching to payloads, so does it? And this is where our concept of operations is going. This is where we're going with this. The Conops. That's really, really important to understand this and get this right. So, in our architectures down the road, how is this going to work? We'll have a reusable descent module with a moon pallet and some kind of payload on top, right? But first, we were going to have moon pallet. We'd need moon pallet with, we would need moon pallet with the crane on top of it. And we still need to figure out a way for the crane to get off. The moon crane needs to figure out a way to get off of this thing. If we're making a reusable descent module, why not just use Blue Moon Mark II? Blue Moon Mark II. I've never actually went and looked at this thing. Wait a minute. Of course. Well, I'm like falling soon. Oh, yeah. A ramp like Viper's supposed to have Xerax? We don't need that anymore. Pictures of Stargazer, we don't need that as... Interesting. So the engines are down the bottom in the Blue Moon Mark II design. The end... Freaking WebP, you gotta be kidding me. The engines are down there. And that means the fuel line's gotta be coming down through... Huh. Okay. Huh. Oh! There's a lot of people running over there. Hold on a second. I really hope no one was over there. Oh, man. Wobble spam is fine. Okay. Do you have good safety laws in the USA? Yeah, real good, actually. I'm guessing it fell on some equipment over there, dudes. That's a... Dude, that is a big Komatsu. Hey, watch it, watch it, watch it. Yep, they're like, okay, next one. I need to see that again. Someone's over there. Okay, those two get out of the way. Is there anything else? Somebody else back there? Look for movement. Dude. There's definitely somebody over there. I don't know if the chopsticks can hold those things up, Speedy. I mean, they might be able to. I mean, the way they're moving around looks like it's not a big deal, so... Yeah, they're just... If people wouldn't just be moving around aimlessly if somebody got hurt. And the excavator's going again. Alright. Yeah, it's fine, dudes. They'd stand down. Yeah, no. The fact that the guy's moving the excavator again. I mean, Bob, he scared me for a second because the guy put the bucket down. You don't put the bucket down with the excavator unless you're planning on stopping, right? You put the bucket down to rest the hydraulics. You don't want to leave the excavator arm up when the machine is off, because if there's a hydraulic leak, it comes down. We don't want that. So you usually put the bucket down when you're done operating. There were also sparks on the leg file on the ground. Yeah, that happened. See, I'm a little bit indecisive here with what I want. The reason why, fellas, is because might just need to build more functionality into this, dude. I might need to build more. We gotta build more functionality, and this thing could carry the rover. It could carry it. It's possible, but we need to redo the ascent component. The ascent component. But, oh, dude, you know what I was thinking? Hold on. The RDM prototype. I don't want to work exactly on the full RDM prototype right now because the RDM prototype is really going to need a super heavy launch vehicle to make it work correctly. The reason why is because I need a way to be able to get a capsule and payload to the dang thing to do the right rendezvous operation so we could keep landing and reusing and refueling the descent module, right? So, you know what I just thought of? The MEM right here. The Lunar Excursion module with the rover. Guys, we could use this. This is I mean, it's an expendable solution for now, no doubt, but we could absolutely get away with it. The reason why we can get away with it, well, the MEM, yeah, the Ascent module, yes, it's stock. Yeah, Dr. Gnome, that's it, dude. Opening Starship into the Mega Bay. Dude, this thing never, Starbase never stops, man. That's kind of crazy. How much Delta V does this bad boy have? Hold on a second. $904. We can use this for lunar excursions. It wouldn't be an issue. See, the RDM and stuff is the stopgap for later. This will, I think we should use this. How much mass is it? 7.5. Hey, Alucard, what's going on? Can we hinge a rover off the side of the previous craft? Probably. We could probably get away with it. How's KSP? It's good. Oh yeah, Chris, it looks like there was a small explosion near the tower and the leg fell. You could see it on some of the smaller screens. Interesting. After the leg fell, yeah. If we want to keep doing lunar excursions for science, this is probably the way to do it. But do we really need to do that? We're moving into base building components. You know what? I'll keep this here in the main save, in our career mode save, just in case, dude. What's 1B? What is this? Oh, that's the crappy version. Ooh. Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that. You don't want that at all. That's the mining variant. Minmus RV? Oh, that's the return vehicle, okay. I've clicked on that like 4 times. Alright, that's fine. Cool. Now, how do we get the crane down? from the surface. How do we do that? So if I put Moon Crane on top of this bad boy, how do we get Moon Crane off from that? How do we do that? Let me think. Today hath been annoying, all the updating to your tower. Oh yeah? Install KAS and use the wire. No. Where's the fun in that? Iger, I was actually thinking about, with the crane, it might not be the worst idea to make a okay, here, let me load up the crane. I'll show you. All right, let's just take a look here real quick. We're going to have to redo some things, right? But that's... All right, so let me get one of the I-beams out. And the I-beam is 1.5 meters. This thing is 1.5 meters long. So what is our traverse distance? Oh. Our traverse distance is 1.5 meters to the surface. From the deck of the lander down to where the landing legs are, it's actually... if we figure 2 meters, we can... yeah, that'll work just fine. Alright, so now let's go back over to Moon Crane. So Moon Crane has these things that it can plant. It has hydraulics that it can plant onto the ground, right? And these ones are used for, you know, leveling and stuff. Dude, I actually had another idea for the crane. It might even be simpler than this. But so say this thing is sitting up on top of the lander, right? And say we made these things, instead of making them the 1P2 hydraulic cylinder, we made them so they can do that, right? Like they can lift up. All right, so now what? Who cares? What happens? What are you gonna do? You gonna do, like, what do you do with the lander? We can lift ourselves up off the lander, but we can't move off of the lander, right? Moon Crane can be packed up. It did come with suspension. I did give it the same... it has the same landing gear design as Moon Pallet. Now, if we move these into the 45 position, deployable side panel. Have it just fall to the surface as a docking port. What? I was gonna do something like this. The throw on one of these things is 2.5 meters. That's more than enough. I was just gonna make it so the landing legs could do that. All right, hold on. Moon Crane 5. Okay. I did have a couple of weird ideas for this, guys. It mostly involves doing this. I need a part from this station craft file. That right there. You guys know what that is? Build a small sky crane to propulsively lift the crane off and touch down, and then jettison the propulsive bit. It could work, Nader. But I have other ideas. Hear me out, dude. I think that said 1923. Some of you figured out what I want to do. We could take Moon Crane 5 and make it an RMS. Let's find control. You remember this from CTS 5 mission mode.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey Dave, 103-month resub. Thanks, man. I'd be a little worried, though, how much this can actually lift. My lunar, or my architecture for other planets, goalie. That actually might not be the worst idea, dudes, just doing this like this. You know? But then again, we didn't really... The other design has a counterweight loaded into it, dude. You know? This is my space station remote manipulator system from my other mission mode save, dudes. Cast, we could see it, dude. Will this hold up under gravity? Lunar gravity might have some issues. That's really where I'm running into problems. This shouldn't be an issue on Minmus, though. I like it. I like it. That's kind of a cool idea, but if we're picking up... Like, this thing is going to be moving, you know, we have the RD... The RDM is designed to be able to move about 9 tons down to the moon. I want this to be able to work no matter what, so I might just go back with my other idea. That was a good idea, though. I do like that thing. I love how I'm just kit bashing all my, I'm just kit bashing my stuff together. All right. Well, let's unfold this so I can show you guys this one too. Remember, we have about a 2 meter gap to get this thing off of the 2 meter gap to get this thing off of the RDM or off of our descent module. Just regular descent module. It doesn't necessarily have to be the RDM. You can always do something resembling an engine lift. Well, what I was thinking, Aqualex, is did you see the heat shield thing that Blue Origin just randomly dropped? The thing is pretty sweet. Yeah. Maybe one-time fixed crane arm on the lander. I'll tell you what, a descent module with the arm attached to the side, that would actually be kind of cool, because that means it could just grab stuff. Interesting idea. Huh. Use the crane and the arm to reload new payloads. Yeah, we could, Andrew. Yeah. We can basically handle this thing going the center of mass, basically staying anywhere inside of the of these. The other thing that I wanted to do with Moon Crane, guys, is I wanted to attach some Kerbal backpacks to this, some like Kerbal, the Kerbal construction struts, and have an engineer come out here and run a strut like this. We know we can do that from building cranes down here on Kerbin, and it is absurdly strong. It doesn't break. You see this X-59 post? They completed the flight test. No, those are some great pictures, though. So we need to add an inventory box to this. Now, what about the wheels? How are we going to do that? Because the wheels would be super useful. You could take the wheels, you could put the wheels down, right? And this thing could just roll. That's what I'm thinking, dudes. It could just roll away. But that would require me to be able to get these wheels to have 2 meters of reach. I mean, we could take a page out of Athlete's book. NASA Athlete. But that would mean it needs to reach like that. I mean, Nader, your sky crane idea is probably not a bad one. I'm just thinking, dudes, you know, having this capability of this thing to be able to raise itself up like that might not be the stupidest thing. Like, here, check this out. If I took these cylinders over here and replaced them with the 1P4, right, we did something like that, we could extend them down. That's not really giving us 2.5 meter reach, though, is it? Wait a minute. I forgot. This is 1.5 meters. That's 3 meters. Put wheels on the lander instead? And have the lander just translate out from under it, Akimi? I don't know if I'd want to do that, dude. Just because, like, that's the only time you'd use those. See, what I'm thinking, dude, is I have a crane. If we have a crane that can raise its ride height by 1.5 meters, right? We could take something that can, you know, it'll, like, we could use it to get off of the, we could use it to get off of the lander initially, but also that gives us functionality to be able to pluck tall payloads off of these things, which I think is actually pretty damn good. That's a pretty good capability, right? Would you put grip pads on the bottom of the feet? I don't think I have the small grip pads unlocked. I only have these, the Chungus, the big Chungus grip pads, so I don't really want to. Use moon crane to build even bigger moon cranes. Kerbal. Imagine we bring that thing out to the moon. Have that thing just pluck payloads off. How are you going to launch and land it? Pieces. Well, I've already said we need a bigger rocket, but I know you could do that. I want to see you do that. Oh, okay. We could just, yeah, just this. We'd put it in a fairing. I don't know how I'd get it down to the surface. That crane is superbly heavy. 68 tons. We'd need a big, big lander. I would probably retool that a little bit for purpose. That's really just... Moon Chungus has a good ring to it. It'd be really good on Minmus. You could build like a multi-story moon base with that thing. Think about it. Possibilities are there, guys. And if this thing can raise itself, we could stack modules on top of other modules, and you could build like a second story to your moon base if you really wanted to. Jay's got an idea. I know what I want to do.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
The all-terrain hex-limbed extraterrestrial explorer. Yikes. Hey, Lego Lewis, what's up, man? 64-month resub. Not been here to chat in so long, but dang, I've missed your streams. I can't even explain how enjoyable they are. Oh, thanks, man. 7-month streak. 7-month streak. Let's go.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Level 1 certified. Ad-free EJ is better than other EJs. Thanks. 48-month resub. Thank you. Yes, Marshmallow, extend the knee joint in the existing wheels. I agree. All right. All right, let's dance. Get rid of those. All right, get rid of those. Get rid of that too for now. All right, what is this one for? That's the wheel position. We don't need that calc controller just yet. All right, so now save. Now I need to open up the RDM prototype 2025. Okay, cool. We don't need the guide beam anymore because I just brought the lander in. All right, it's not going to be docked exactly like that. There's going to be some space in between. So I'll leave 20 centimeters of clearance here just in case. As our overestimate. All right, so that's the reach. That's what we got to get down to. The other struts decided to get a little funky, but... Give me a breakdown. What have you been working on recently? How's the truck? Truck's finished, Lego Lewis. Oh, I've drove it. I've drove it all summer. Oh, I got another project. You remember the blue car? Yeah, I kind of took that all apart. Truck's finished, dude. Yeah, Freb, I got it running in 2023. I drove it away from my wedding with Primo. I just did the trunk pan on that car today, dude. Yeah. The whole back of that car was gone. From basically the wheel back, the only thing there that was there is the quarters. I've replaced like everything underneath there. It's cool, dude. It's a good project. We worked on it today if you want to check the VODs. Truck works. I went on a hiatus from KSP from about mid 2024, actually spring of 2024. Till basically summer 2025. I started getting back into KSP in September. The reason why I got out of KSP, Lego Lewis, is because KSP 2 got axed. Sucks. KSP 2 got axed, dude. Take Two pulled the plug, fired everybody. Sold the intellectual property. We still technically don't really know who owns it. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't know if you know, I also, like, Legos, I don't know how long you've been gone. I have a shop. I don't have to work on the truck in my parents' garage anymore. I have a shop. And the shop That's not a screenshot. My office is connected to my shop. Pre-recorded. I didn't say it wasn't pre-recorded. I said it wasn't a screenshot. Dude, wish me luck. I just got my phone call from my dream airline. I'd start training on the 737 on January 5th. Dude. You get all the good vibes, X-Wing. It's funny. You say you'd rather be flying an X-Wing. I'd say I'd rather be flying a 737. Just saying. Well, yeah, Legolas, that's what I'm up to. I got back into KSP in September. Dude, I was not good after they got rid of KSP 2. I couldn't play it. It really, really screwed me up. But whatever, we're past that. It's all good. I'm working on Moon Crane. Take out the shop trash, it's overflowing. Working on it. But, yeah, exactly. Some folks in chat have been saying some of the ex-KSP developers grouped up with a company called Rocketworks, Legolas. Rocketworks makes Stationeers and Icarus, and they're making a new game called Kitten Space Agency. KSA for short. Kitten Space Agency is the spiritual successor to Kerbal. We played it the other day, and it looks real good. I've been gone for about a year, but I check in every now and then just for half an hour just to see how you're doing. In the shop. Last time I was properly here was when you were working on the rear diff on the truck. Okay. So that would have been early 2023. Huh. How's the Stationeers base going? I haven't played it in a little while. Battlefield has been taking up a little bit of my time. Speaking of which, we got to do after hours here in a moment. But I'm cooking with this. I want to finish this. So I have a good idea. Have you been living here 2.5 years, really? No, Yarg. We moved into this house in August of 2022. It's not 2.5. It's more like 3.5. So no 6 to 8 hours of KSP. No, I want to work on this, dude. Yeah, Yarg, it's been a long time. Flies, man. I'm just wondering if there's any optimizations I can make on the crane part. We'll think about that later. So, here. Alright, I'm sorry. Just for this test, even just for this test, I gotta move these out of the way. This is just absolutely infuriating me. Just, that's good enough. There you go. All right, now we also got to be cognizant here that this fits in a 375 fairing, okay? So I'm gonna take this because Condor's fairing has a 375 fairing, so that's really the up everything's got to fit in this volume here. Let me just build it so we know. Okay, I got some place to work with. All right, sweet. All right, so the landing legs for the lander there. We are going to have to... Oh, so we're going to need something that's got to be able to reach out and down outside of the radius of the landing leg. Ooh, this is going to get complicated. How the heck are we going to do that? Right? Because the... Yeah, all right. Let me look at athlete again. How about the scorpion fly for the craft's name? We could call a slang term for that, because that's kind of what it's going to end up looking like, huh? Yeah, believe me, John. You're talking. It's funny. You're talking to me about financial problems. That's. Believe me, I know. All right, can we get away with putting a G11 hinge here like this? Barely, but yes. What happens if we take this and angle it down? Does that fit? Yep, that'll fit. All right, cool. So if we were going to do NASA's hinge design, we're going to do something like athlete. I remember I didn't do athlete before because I previously wrote it off. I'm like, there's no way we can make that. I can make that. We can make that. That's not an issue. Rotate so the lander and the legs are offset. Yes and no. Oh, dude, it's gonna have to be in the cardinal directions. We don't really have a choice there. That kind of sucks. remember the proposal so well that was like 3 years ago. Working as an electrical engineer fitter now, and can confidently say it was due to your inspiration. Yeah! Awesome, man. You got Starbase Live on right now? It did the no signal thing again. Did you see it? And it's got a zoom in on booster 18 and there's a black circle. I've seen that before in previous boosters and I think the ship as well. Do you know what it is? Tank inspection hatch. That thing is an inward opening hatch for when you need to get inside of the fuel tanks. It's for getting inside the fuel and oxidizer tanks. Did you alt tab? I actually didn't. I just moved my mouse up to the other monitor. I'm building something similar to Athlete. Demo, do you remember with Moon Crane how I had 2 engines fire this thing and then like and then verniers to translate it off of the pad to land it? I don't want to do that. I want to give Moon Crane more functionality by adopting something similar but not the exact same thing as Athlete. You got more cool shuttle screenshots. The shuttle with an asteroid redirect module. So you launched the shuttle. It pulled the arm. Asteroid redirect went out, grabbed a Class A asteroid, brought the Class A asteroid back around Kerbin, and your shuttle docked to it. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on, Element, but who knows? And then you had a Kerbal EVA and attach a docking port to the asteroid. So the shuttle wrangled the asteroid. Demo. Demo. Bro, that was so cool until you did that. Why did you do this? What are you doing? Stop it. Oh my God. Stop. So bad. What's the other album? What do you want? You made the MBS. And you're moving a solar... the SPM? One of the truss segments. Impressive. Very nice. It looks like our Space Station Freedom build, but it's not. Yours is ISS. You have a Z1 truss segment. Would the guy get out of my way? Get out of my way. US Army, US Marshal. Oh dear. It's pretty good, man. How many parts is this demo? It's all stock parts, fellas. The station with the 2 Soyuz are around 800 parts. And the shuttle with your flag thermal protection system, the shuttle's about 750, but most of it is flags, yep. Cool, man. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm working on an athlete solution here for this. Larst. Yeah, the spider from Wild Wild West. What if we had a way, fellas, here, what if we had a way to change, you know, to plant this? Like that. You know, put this right here, right? And obviously it's not going to, I don't want it to get in the way of the wheels, but say we could, you know, put the damping down and then stomp these bad boys into the ground. Now, that won't give us as much reach as doing this with the flip out thing. But dude, what's stopping us from doing... That's almost as much, dude. Like, this is enough to lift us up, lift the moon crane up off of this, right? And I was gonna say, oh, we're gonna need wheels and then we're gonna need the jacks, but dude, that's the jack right there. That's fine. Why is that? Why won't that work? It's perfect. I don't mind Wild Wild West. I think it's a remake, if you guys want to know. It's based off of a series called Wild Wild... a TV show called Wild Wild West. I don't mind it. I think it's fine. Yeah, it's an okay movie. I am the master of the mechanical... Stop! And I have to help you. You're the master of the stupid stuff. Want a gun? You want to take your collar off? I don't take your collar off. I don't have a gun, or otherwise I'd shoot it off. Oh yeah, that's right. In the true Jim West fashion, I'll just bash it with a rock. Now, chat, you don't want to do that. Oh, but I do. My name's Jim. How's your mama? We're using that to communicate. You know. Oh, that movie is pretty funny, man. All right, anyway. So let's move these back to this position here. And then if I can actually just tick these out, just tick that out a little bit further like that. It's almost the exact reach as having that down. And because we're kind of, it's kind of angled. Oh, dude, it could be even better. I'm not working. Problem solved. Well, hold on there, Cirrus. Can't just go doing that. Is that so? I didn't mean it like that. And yeah, this will make it so if Moon Crane, for instance, let's just move the lander out of the equation here. Or not take it out of the equation. Let's take it, put it over here. Then we take the Moon Crane itself, we put it down to approximately where it would be. And then I move the lander up here. Hell yeah. Plenty of reach, dude. We got plenty of luff, plenty of boom. We're good, man. Your shuttle has about 300 flags, black flags for the TPS and 90 more for the 2 ohms pods. I know, dude. You've told me. The flags, man. Are they flag panels or are they just flat flags? Like, is it the flag shape? Are they physics-less? Like, is it that, or is it like the flag panel? You could adjust the legs inward and outward to change the height. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're physics-less, otherwise it would be too laggy and draggy. Come on. You know what else? You know what else makes your shuttle fly really bad and makes it really draggy? Attaching a freaking asteroid to it. Shame! Shame on you! Shame! No! Bad demo. Don't do that again. You should have built a space station off of it with the shuttle. What's wrong with you? Did you see the last OLM leg knockdown? I did. Something went down over there, Gold. I don't know what it was, but something went down. You have dishonored yourself. You've dishonored your family. You've dishonored your cow. I could just bring the asteroid back up to build the station. Whatever. All right. We should test this thing. We should test it to make sure it works. Okay, so we can remove these. And I'll just, for now, we'll find something better eventually, but I'll use placeholder struts just to put this all together and make it look nice. All right, Jay is speaking English, I think. All right, so move this here. And now the other thing that we got to do is we need to figure out if this thing can it fit in the damn payload fairing. So So now how the hell does this all fit in the payload bearing? Oh. Wow. Okay. We could even get away with... It's not what I did, but alright. If we put these on the inside... We put them on the inside like that, we could even fold this thing in. Oh, no, that's not going to work. That's outside of the payload fairing. They're going to have to be on the outside. Yeah, that really wasn't hard at all. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Like... Okay, one last thing, dudes. The crane can fit in Condor's fairing, but I don't think we could fit the crane and the descent module. Hey, Mackenzie, what's going on? Can 2 descent modules fit in Condor? So... $343 unfolds to go. Indeed. Yeah. Okay. How much power do these things have? G11 hinges are... how much torque? It doesn't really necessarily say how much torque they make. I thought it did. Oh no, it says it right here. That's right. 200 kilonewtons of rotational torque. We might actually be able to do this with smaller hinges, but we'll do it with these. This is wild. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay. I put a probe core on it. We got a fuel cell. Take all the damping forces out of this. Why remove the damping forces? It's a crane, Buxo. Damping forces is going to it makes it kind of not as strong. It kind of, because it's trying to damp out the movement. Like, I suppose, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I always used to avoid it because it makes things squishy. But really, in reality, it's just trying to dampen out the movement. Yeah, I don't think we need it for this particular application. That, and I don't really want anything sprung like that when you're trying to lift. I don't want to go to lift something up and have the dampers start to dampen out the compression movement and like maybe like make the hinge collapse. I don't want that. So yeah, I don't want it. I usually don't have it in anything. All right, let's just do a test here. Dampener? Hardly knew her. I haven't seen a KSP stream in a few days, and all I could say is, what in tarnation? Don't worry about it, Jeff. It's a NASA idea. Well, kind of. It's half of it's NASA at this point, and half of it's EJ's wild contraptions. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Ready? We haven't bound this anything up here to a cal controller, but back and strike. All right, I gotta recover this. Are you playing Stationeers, Jip? Oh my goodness, I am sorry. That's totally my bad. You'll see what this does. Hold on. I can't have it break the legs. That's the problem. The problem is the lander is fully fueled, so it's super heavy. And we're also in Kerbin gravity. So let's empty the fuel and empty the monopropellant. And just put a little bit of monopropellant in there just because. Okay, cool. Just gonna move this thing a little bit further away. All right. Cool. Yeah, so watch, Dan. This thing... I want to simultaneously have stabilizer jacks like you'd see with a crane. A crane would have telescoping jacks that it puts out to lift the crane up, right? I want to simultaneously have that, but I also want to be able to drive this thing off of this. Yes, I said drive it off of there. Okay, that's locked out. That's locked out. If we lock that one out, 166. Undock from the lander. Okay, nothing changed. Cool. All right, so now we let her down. Let this thing kind of hang out again. There it is. We're off. Okay. All right. Put the brakes on. Pump the brakes, chat. Pump the brakes. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Okay. What if you use the rams as the arms of the legs as well to allow for more adjustment? We could do that, Andrew. So just go right here. All right. Put the brakes on. We did break one of those things doing that. That was not cool, but it's all right. Instead of the struts. Yeah. I don't like that those are necessarily locked like that. We really need a cow controller to do this right, but it's locked at 18.2, so this is gonna have to be 72. Okay, lock that out. All right, now I need to go into my physics and then visualize the auto struts here. So if we do this and we set that to root, like that, it's gonna run some struts for us. Auto struts. Excellent. A couple of wheels broke. Yeah, I know. That won't... If we have the Cal controller, C-Kraken, simultaneously push down with all the wheels all at once, that shouldn't happen. Remember, we're testing it on Kerbin, and we're not testing it here. Like, we're testing it on Kerbin, and it goes on... It's supposed to go to the moon. And Minmus. This is supposed to be for other... It's supposed to be basically for everywhere but here and, like, maybe Eve. Let's see that. This is smug face. You guessed wrong, you fat pigeon. You still got work to do. Initiate with smug face. But wait! There's more! That needs to not be like that. Hold on, because this is gonna be a screamer! This is smug face. Yeah, that's pretty good. You built a self-propelled crane that can lift its own booster. Big whoop. Want to fight about it? No. This is Moon Crane 5. It happens, builder. Don't worry about it. Now Moon Crane 5. Max load test. This thing can probably, I mean, dude, not probably. It can pick up. I mean, the lander doesn't have any fuel in it. The whole thing right now is 16 tons, and the wheels can hold up 16 tons. That means this thing, I mean, if the wheels are any indicator of how strong this thing is, I would routinely pull 4 or 5 ton modules off with the other design, no problem. But the problem is we'd still bend the arms. These arms aren't going to bend. I'd say this could probably do, I'd say 10 tons. I'd say the crane could do 10 tons. We got a lot of, we can adjust with the counterweight. But yeah, I'd say we could probably get away with that. Here, let's see how much luff it has. Can we get it? Can we drop something out past the legs? Mechanical auxiliary transfer for international space. Mantis. Get some nasty deflection on the end there. Hey, Tej. Cool. Sick. I want Cal controllers to be able to control all this in unison so I could adjust, like basically what we did with the other ones. We could just both of them at the same time so we could just change the height. Is it possible to bind the crane controls to the HOTAS setup? Yes. Oh, absolutely, Rarest. Yeah. This has no control systems on it right now. Nothing. We'll put the control systems on it. I'll make this thing super easy to use. Check Discord General, please. What the hell is this? Oh, come on. Come on now. Oh, I broke the last wheel. It does look like a giraffe, doesn't it? All right. I saw what I wanted to see. Looks like, yeah, a poodle or something. A praying mantis. I see a praying mantis there. Yeah, sure. My 6-year-old loves cranes in KSP. I'm going to show him this in the morning before school. Oh, Rarest. I should show you the Chungus. I should show you the Chungus. Well, guys, is it bad if I want to play Kerbal again tomorrow and maybe play Anno on Friday? Because I want to dial in the control systems for this thing. Like, badly dial the control systems for that thing in. So this is what I mean by concept of operations, though. Like, I needed to see if this thing could pull itself off of the lander. And it absolutely can. Not only can it pull itself off the lander, it can pick the stupid thing up. But I have to implement control systems to basically have this thing... I need to implement control systems that basically have... If wherever this is pointing, that one is always pointed at the ground. There's no getting around it. Because, yeah, and we also need the jack height as well. There is one more thing that I wanted to... I'm going to add it, but I won't... we're not going to... I don't think I need to test it. We broke all the wheels because we didn't have a way to jack this crane up. A crane needs to be able to sit on its own as well. What I wanted to do is put this at 0 and this at 90. Don't like it. No, sir. Don't like it. That's gonna have to be like that. Do we have the clearance to move around, though? Like, can this thing... Oh, no, it doesn't get in the way. Cool. Time to write it to implement an inverse kinematic controller. Yeah, I know. That'd be cool, but I don't think we need to go that far. In fact, I might just eliminate the second piece. But then again, you never know. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. The other thing that would be kind of nice to do with this is if we just move these on the outside. So the wheels and the hydraulics have the same point. They're pushing in the same area. Might be a little bit easier. The other thing is, does that still fit? Yep. And then, of course, we need the Cal controller for steering. And then we need a docking port. We need the docking port for point control on the wheels. The mass with the lander, 19. The crane by itself is about 12. And this has 758 meters a second delta V. Is that what the tank's for? Oh. That's the operator's seat. Actually, you know what? We'll just raise and lower this stupid thing. How goes it? It goes good, Bucket. Strut, arm, connectors are placeholders. Find something better. All right, we're gonna play Kerbal tomorrow. And then guess what we're doing? We're putting one of those on Minmus. It's probably gonna take 3. No, it should probably take 2 Condor launches. I'm just worried about the crane fitting in the damn fairing. What mad contraption is this? It's a crane. Here, I'll show you, man. Ready? So this thing, so the crane is on top of the descent module, right? I need more core network planned for tomorrow. I might do some in the morning. We got to clean up all the welds, Jim, and then we got to prime them. We got to put primer on them. I don't need to use Steel It though. We don't need to use Steel It primer, even though we could. Yeah. Yeah, if we're gonna send one of these to Minmus, I need to make this with a probe core and stuff, and Condor needs the plus size fairing. I don't think that whole thing is gonna fit in there. Remember, because the landing legs have to fold. The landing legs have to fold down, so it's probably not. We're gonna have to put the crane up there. Here's what we'll do. Here's what we're gonna do. We launch the crane, and we build a small kick stage for the crane so it can station keep with RCS. We need to redo the descent module so the descent module has RCS that's good for rendezvous proximity. Okay? Once we do that, so we're gonna need to redesign this. Once we do that, we have our little transfer stage up here. Like just a little guy. Just not, we might have something that we already made that works. I'm not talking anything fancy here. Right? We launch the crane on Condor, deploy it into low Earth orbit with its kicker stage, right? With solar panels and a small RCS, just a little tiny kick stage for it. Right? And we could either do 2 things from there. Depending on the delta V of the stage and whatnot, we could either send this out there to Minmus and put it into min-miss orbit. If we, and then we attach the descent module. Now, the descent module has to go. It has to be attached in Leo or low Kerbin orbit. Serious, I'm thinking Leo rendezvous would be a probably a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's a stage beefy enough to take both the descent and crane to Transmooner. I think we have my little transfer stage up there for station keeping, Cirrus. And then we launch a Condor 9 with just the descent module on it. Just the descent module, and that's it. We dock Condor 9 in the descent module. The Condor 9 upper stage in the descent module to there. It's probably not going to give us the Delta V that we're looking for because it's 20 tons. But it should be enough for the stage to give us a good push. And then we can use the extra Delta V to get out there. The reason why I put it on min-miss because this really won't work unless we have a bigger launch vehicle. We're gonna need a bigger launch vehicle, but we need to get paid and we need to do science in the meantime. What's the crane going to be used for? Base building. I have a really nice contract here. Build a new surface outpost on min-miss. I have a nice contract for a space station. All right, we'll do more checkout with that tomorrow. It's a little past 10 o'clock, guys. Ready for some after hours? That was sick. So, I started KSP around, was it 5:30, 6 o'clock? Something like that. Actually, it was a little bit longer than that. We got almost 5 hours in. Good. Good stuff. I told you we would. Wait, that means how much car stream do we do? I started at like 10:30-ish. Ten 30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. I did 8 hours of car stream. Wow. And then we did 8 hours of Kerbal, 5 hours of car stream. Now we're gonna do another couple hours of Battlefield. Pretty good, huh? Any good space news today? Chris, they're knocking down legs at Starbase. New Glenn is getting recovered at the port. Booster 18 rolled out for proof testing. They're moving it to Massey's soon. Yeah, Block 3 Starship's already rolling out for testing, dude. How'd the car stream go, Corsi? Trunk pan's welded in, dude. It is perfect. It is perfectly center. Perfectly welded in, dude. I gotta clean up my welds and stuff, but yeah, we're probably gonna do another super long stream tomorrow, like we are doing now. But that's gonna do it for what is it? Part 28. Part 28. Moon crane is good, man. Moon crane's working. It's working great, actually. Moon crane's working great. The pallet is working good. All we got to do is just build the payloads and integrate the base components. That's what we'll work on tomorrow. We'll work on figuring out good ways to do that. Yeah, we'll work on a good way to do that. Liam, what's up, dude? Long time no see. Question. What's up? Why does it feel like since New Glenn launched, everybody's acting like they're better than SpaceX? I feel like we forgot what kind of payloads SpaceX had launched the past so many years. SpaceX is so much cooler. It's so much cooler, you know? Liam, let me put it to you like this. I don't know why people are acting like Blue's better than SpaceX. I don't really believe in liking one contractor more than another, especially because the commercial space market is still emerging. I don't think we're really brand loyalty here is kind of a little strange at this point. I really personally think I grew up in a time where we had the space shuttle and that was it. And maybe an Atlas 3 every once in a while. Delta 2 was doing its thing, then, Delta 4, and then all of that was gone. My formative years in learning and understanding about spaceflight came when the shuttle retired and Constellation got canceled. I had nothing. We had nothing. We had Kerbal. That's it. I think people very easily forget that. I think they very easily forget that there was nothing. There was almost nothing. So in that regard, I will not be brand loyal to one company or another. What Blue did is pretty damn impressive. SpaceX has been doing it for 10 years, but what they did was pretty good. But Liam, here's the big thing. I think one, it's easy to forget. Two, and this is the big one. I don't know, once again, and I don't know about Blue necessarily. People thinking Blue, I don't know. Maybe they just don't like Elon or something. Who knows? I don't care. I'm excited for this because this shows that reusable rockets is not a niche thing to SpaceX. It is a market trend. Think about that for a second. 2 companies have landed boosters now. By this time next year, Jeb willing, Relativity, Stoke, Rocket Lab. That'll put 5 launch providers up there with reusable landable rockets. This is not a niche thing that SpaceX does. This is a thing everybody does now. That's the trend. That's the norm. If you're making expendable rockets right now, I hope you have launch contracts. I hope you have launch contracts planned out for a long time because you're going to go the way of the dodo real fast. Now there are 2 of them. Now, once again, I don't know. People have been showing favoritism with Blue. I don't know, dude. It's flavor of the month. Not to denigrate what Blue does. Like, it's awesome. Like, dude, even I was skeptical. I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit, but, I do like all launch providers. I mean, maybe I just don't like Blue's casts. Blue's casts are terrible. I can't do it. I can't do it, dudes. But, all that notwithstanding, I don't know. Maybe people work for Blue. There's a lot of people I know that work there. I think it's, Liam, another component to take into account is that I think people got bored of Falcon 9. For real. They got bored of it. They want to see something new. New Glenn is new. It's right in the name. As for me, guys, I'm going to get hyped about all this stuff. I love it. Does SpaceX hold a lot of weight in my heart? Abso-freaking-lutely. The reason why is because of what I've seen them be able to do. What we've seen. Starships landing. Booster catching. Falcon 9 operations. Falcon Heavy. Dragon. Space Station. I like SpaceX because I've seen what they can do. If I'm thinking about what Blue's doing correctly, give it some time. You'll like what Blue's doing too. Trust me. These, Mark 1, Mark 2 lander. The B7 uprated BE3Us making 980 kilonewtons of thrust. Oh boy. Let's give them some time to develop, But it's the new thing. It's the new hotness, dude. We are at a point, despite my, ideas about brand loyalty with commercial providers, that's just cringe, to be honest. I really think it's just the cringiest behavior of all time. I don't like people who, come up with the cope like, SpaceX, Elon is SpaceX, and I don't like them. Yeah, all right, whatever, dude. Sure. I'm here for the space, right? And simultaneously, look, if you want to make the argument that Blue's webcasts are terrible, there you go. That's fair. That's a fair argument. But don't crap on the hardware, man. New Glenn's a good rocket. It's a good rocket. It is a beast. That thing is as big as a Saturn V. It's as tall. It's not as wide. But don't crap on the hardware. This is stuff we would have dreamed about. This is stuff we would have dreamed about 15 years ago. This is ridiculous. This is like going from the Wright Flyer to the 740 to a 747 in 15 years. This is insane. But yeah, I think people like Blue because it's the new thing. It's the new thing. And I think there's a lot of people out there that don't like SpaceX because of Elon, but that's just another, criticism of Elon, I think, is warranted if you want to. Me, guys, I don't do that. I don't do none of that. I'm just here for the rockets. I'm here for the hardware. The hardware is what makes me happy. I want to see cranes. I want to see breakover devices. I want to see landed boosters. I want to see marine assets. I want to see landers. I want to see reusable ships. I want to see COT boosters, catch towers, launch pads. That's what I'm here for. That's the stuff I want. Because, guys, I remember when we had nothing. Nothing. And I mean nothing. It killed me inside to see 39A rusting away before SpaceX got that lease. It killed me. Killed me inside. Abandoned. The pad was abandoned from July of 2011 to September of 2015. Abandoned. We almost had nothing. So, Liam, I don't know. It's just the new hotness. People get wound up in the minutia. People like brand loyalty with space flight providers, which is weird. That's always weird to me. Because if you're a space fan, you're going to like all rockets because we don't have anything. That's like saying oh, I like the F-22. The F-22 is the best. Everything else is junk. I mean, that's kind of true, but actually the F-22 is probably a bad example because that is literally better than everything. It's like saying oh, I like an F-14 more than an F-15. It's all right. That's a weird thing to say. They're both awesome. What are you talking about? That's like saying oh, I like an F-4 Phantom. It's better than a MiG-21. No, those are both cool planes. Yeah, one's a commie piece of junk that you could start by, if you could start a tractor, you could probably fire that thing up, but you get the idea. You compare a P-47 to a P-51. Those are both cool. I like both of those things. And you know what? I've seen what it's like having nothing. I'm greedy. I want all of it. Please give me more. Please. Would you intercept me? I'd intercept me. I thought our space program was done when the shuttle was retiring. That's what I'm saying, man. Don't forget that Blue is the first to land a booster that went to space. Yeah, demo with New Shepard. That's right. What do you think of it, Gripin? It's all right. Not really that big a fan of Sobs, but whatever. Do you have any information about Jarvis? No. But Liam, that's kind of where I'm at, dude. I've been critical of Blue because I read them saying they're going to launch 6 times this year and only launching twice as a problem. And, if I think a company has a problem, I'm going to speak up. I'm going to say something about it because it's kind of my job to have those conversations. I don't really want to. I certainly didn't want to have the conversation about Dream Chaser with you guys, that's for sure. But yeah, I seen what I needed to see. They'll be all right. They'll be fine. Not worried. I mean, there is some high ticket stuff that I think that they really need to get under control, because New Glenn's an amazing rocket. It's also really complicated. It's a complicated system. It's complicated in the same way that a 747 has retractable landing gear, and that's more complicated than having like a skid on the bottom of the plane, for instance. Right? Like New Glenn's landing legs, they don't need a crane to retract that. The legs can retract themselves because the aft segment has HPUs in it. There's hydraulic power units, standalone HPUs in the engine section that can actually fold the legs back up. It's landing gear, like landing gear, like an airplane. You just power the thing on and tell it to landing legs will fold back up. With Falcon 9, they need a crane. You need a crane to actually, compress the gas thread and pull the leg back up. New Glenn could just do it by itself. Now, that, like I said, that's inherently a more complicated system. One could make the argument that Falcon is very simple. And I think that would be legit criticism here, because what Blue needs to do is they need to start scaling New Glenn. I don't think New Glenn needs to launch 170 times a year. I don't think it needs to launch that much. But they got to get that launch cadence up over 48 to 50 launches, like a launch a week. I think that would be fair. That would be plenty for New Glenn. That would be perfect for what Blue's trying to do. Build pathways out in space, lunar architecture once a week. That'd be perfect. So how many weeks in a year? 52 weeks? That would be what I would be shooting for at this point. That still means you're going to need a fleet of these damn things. Where the heck are you putting those? Unless New Glenn is designed to be reflown every week, in which case I would probably have like 4 or 5 GS1s lying around to do this job. Maybe one sitting, waiting in the wings, just in case. So you don't screw up your launch cadence. But that's what they need to do. Just to do SLD, their lunar architecture, Blue Moon Mark 1, Blue Moon Mark 2, their orbital transfer tugs. You have to get New Glenn flying on a pretty regular cadence. Once again, not Falcon 9. I don't think they need to launch every 2 to 3 days. I really don't. Once a week would be good. Can LC-36 be turned around that quickly? Don't know. We'd have to see. We have to wait and see. That's what I mean. Wait and see what they're cooking. But that's really where they need to go. That's what they need to do. They have to do that. You're not going to complete any of your stakeholder expectations if you don't. And Blue is using waterfall style testing or waterfall style design, meaning that they're going to design something, they're going to design it, finalize the design, test as much as you possibly can, then launch the thing, which is why we don't see them launch very much right now. And then make changes based off of your data. But you're going to get a much higher fidelity product with Blue, like New Glenn. Like New Glenn landed. It landed on the second try. That's what I mean. How many Falcons crashed into the pad? Right? Because SpaceX crashed. All right, launch another one. Or Starship, for instance. Oh, it blew up. Launch another one. Whatever. You think they can make a stage 2 in a week? I mean, producing 2 stages every week. That's what I mean, Comas. No, not right now. They can't. No, not right now. If I had to guess, huge guess. Well, we know there's 3 to 4 upper. Well, it would be 2 to 3 upper stages now. There has to be. We've seen them test 2 separate stages. We've seen them test the GS2 Flight 3 stage. And that last update we got from them was a little while ago, so that means there's got to be another one. There's got to be a 4th stage. There's no way they just stopped the production line 6 months ago when we got that update about the New Glenn GS2 Flight 3 stage. There's no way they stopped it. So there's got to be 3 to 4 stages sitting around somewhere. Probably in one of Blue's big buildings. They might be in the HIF. We did see another upper stage in there. So, and this is what I mean, dude. The fact that we saw multiple stages and they had multiple stages, they had the Flight 3 stage ready for 2, it means that tells me that they're trying to scale. And that's what I mean about, and that's where I'm getting my 52 launches a month from. They're trying to scale. They promised 6 flights, only got 2, but they have 4 upper stages. So that tells me that New Glenn is it's very complicated. It's a complicated booster, but it's complicated because it's designed to be turned around relatively quick. Like the landing legs fold up, for instance. But you see what I'm talking about? They got to scale. They got to scale. That's their next big thing. I think they'll do it. They're 15,000 strong. It's a huge company. They'll be able to do it. But yeah, Comas, they got to make a stage a week. They have to. SpaceX makes 2 to 3 stages a week. They have to. They have to be rolling out GS2s like every week. And don't get me wrong, you're not going to get to this right away. I'd say 6 is a good benchmark. 6 is a good benchmark for next year. I mean, they were supposed to do 6 this year, but whatever happened with GS1 really screwed them up with GS1 Flight 1. Like I said, I wholly thought that they were going to land that dang booster. They needed to land that booster, and they didn't, and that screwed them all up. That's what I'm trying to say. SpaceX better be making 4 stages a week if they want to hit their goal next year. I think they will. Why wouldn't they, Yarg? A lot of Falcon 9s are stored at Roberts Road. Yeah, and Hangar X. That's where all the Falcon 9 stages are stored. Blue is going to need a facility like that, Rarest. You're going to need a facility like this. A big facility to store GS1s and GS2s. You need big facilities to do this, and Blue is building big facilities. But yeah, mark my words, guys. Blue is going to try to scale to about 50 launches a year. That's my guess. But dude, think about that. Falcon 9 launching 2 to 3 times a week. Starship potentially launching every week. New Glenn launching every week. Who doesn't want this? Right? Who doesn't want that? I want that. That would be awesome. They did just finish a lunar factory. Oh yeah, Saris? Right on, dude. Trust me, guys. Let Blue cook. Let him cook. From everything that I can see, let him cook. They move slow. But it shows the tenacity of that company that they just crapped out New Glenn on the second flight and it actually landed. That's impressive. And that cannot be ignored, Liam. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty impressive. They just, dude, that is their first orbital rocket. That's the first rocket they've ever made. That's the first one. Clean sheet engines, first and second stage, clean sheet design. And they landed it on the second try. It's pretty good. Like I said, man, anybody making expendable rockets at this point is really going to have a bad day soon. We get up 10 years from now, they're going to be gone. Gone, reduced to ashes. Blue is scaling. Scaling takes time. But landing that first stage is that's good for me, dude. I mean, they hit 33% of their goal this year. If they can get it up to 66%, if we can get 4 New Glenn launches next year, we'll be good. That'll be good. And then from there, it's just a slow and steady ramp. You know? In 2026, you do 4. 2027, you do 8. 2028, you do 16. Or I mean, if they want to go exponential, right? You get 4 next year, you know, you get 16 the year after that, and you get 32 the year after that. That would be very hard to do. That would be very difficult. Very difficult. Especially if Mark 1 lands. They gotta... Yeah, serious. They gotta scale. They have to scale, and they have... Dude. It... You know, it's weird. It's weird, because this isn't anything that I wouldn't have said, you know, prior. I mean, I'm worried about their scaling, because they're, you know, 2 launches versus 6 launches projected, right? I'm worried about them scaling. Like, they need... Like, I know they know this. Like, I'm sure Dave Limp knows this. I'm sure he does. Like... He's probably knows more about it than I do, right? But also at the same time, yeah, there's no way they don't know that. There's no way they don't know. They'll get it. But I'm still gonna explain it to people, because I'm pretty sure that's what's going on, Cirrus. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know for sure. And I definitely don't want anybody that works there telling me, you know what I mean? I want to try and figure this stuff out myself and see if we were right. But dude, can you imagine if NASA has Starship, New Glenn, Falcon 9, Falcon Heavy on tap? And it's not even like, when I mean on tap, I mean on tap. NASA could be like, oh, let's put a tank into space. And everyone would be like, yep, let's go, bro. Let's put an Abrams up there. All right. Sure. Put it in the Starship. Put it in New Glenn's fairing. Screw it. Well, I don't think New Glenn would be able to lift it, but... You get what I'm trying to say. They could put a tuba. They could put, you know, put a shipping crate of tubas in there and just go. On tap like a pint of Sam. And Abrams on orbit would be sick. Yeah, that'd be weird, but, you know, I'm not complaining. NASA would be able to basically leverage any launch provider to go anywhere whenever the frick they want. Or resupply whatever they want to put up there with SLS. If we want to keep the politicians happy too, we should just do all the things. Once again, man, I'm greedy. I am greedy. I want everything. But Liam, I think people are really tooting Blue's horn right now because they're the new thing. They're the new kid on the block. You know what I mean? Don't pay him much mind, but just be wary of people that are like, oh, I hate SpaceX. Blue's better. It's like, I see that a lot on the internet, dude. People are saying, like, Blue landed stage, they're better than SpaceX. Like, bro, talk to me when you landed 500. SpaceX has landed, like, 500 Falcon 9s. Come on. Come on. You got some catching up to do. But if anybody can do that, it's Blue. But keep in mind, the rocket's bigger. It's bigger. It's bigger. It can move more payload into space. Blue is projecting to be able to move about 40 metric tons to LEO in a 7-meter fairing with that rocket, fully reusable. Well, the first stage fully reusable. So they don't need to launch as much as Falcon 9 to put an equivalent payload capacity in there. Up there, excuse me. I mean, New Glenn can almost launch double what a Falcon 9 in a drone ship landing Falcon 9 can do. It can launch double. So by that math, if they wanted to scale to payload per orbit on par with SpaceX, it'd be half the launches. Just putting it out there. Could you pressurize and life support an Abrams and use it as a rover? You'd need, I mean, it's got a jet engine in there for the power pack. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, serious, the real question is, would we have to worry about micrometeorite debris if you're driving around in Abrams on the moon or something? I optimized the moon crane, RJ. You'll see. You'll see. Anyway, good chats. Use the main gun for movement. I mean, it would work. It's kind of a little bit of a course adjustment for attitude control thrusters, but yeah. I'm questioning their scaling on the Kuiper satellites. That's what I mean, Strick. Blue's in a really good position right now, but they need to scale. That's my big critique. SpaceX is the same thing. You got to scale Block 3. You don't get Block 3 up and running soon, Blue will come and eat your lunch. I mean, I'm just saying, like, because a guy that has no experience with spaceflight decided to renege on a contract that was awarded to SpaceX. Let's reopen it in the name of capitalism. Bro, that's not capitalism, homie. That's not that. You're doing the opposite of that. Immediately reach orbital velocity. Yeah. Could you imagine the lunar dust rooster tail behind an Abrams? Rarest, I kind of want to see that, man. You know what? We don't need it. You know what? We don't need an Abrams. You know what we need? We need my all-time favorite tank, okay? My all-time favorite tank. All right? If this tank was in, like, World of Tanks or something, I would just use this all day. Okay? Do you know what? Do you know what the best tank of all time is? It's an M88A3. Because they're going to be expecting you to bring a big gun into battle. No one's going to expect you bringing a frigging huge tank with a crane attached to it into battle, okay? They're not going to be expecting it. They'll never expect it. They'll never expect it. And you cannot make the argument that that would not be useful on another planet. Except for the whole, air-breathing engine. That is a little bit of a monkey wrench in my plans, okay? But also, that thing would do good stuff on the moon. That'd be fine. Wouldn't win many matches in World of Tanks with that, though. I mean, yeah. So, December 3rd is the Senate hearing, guys. So we get to watch that cringe. All right, time for Battlefield. Let's go. All right, I'm going to jog the VOD over on YouTube. And let's play. Have EJ try not to get angry at Battlefield. Challenge impossible. I tried not to curse anybody out in Battlefield last night, and that did not work. It is a fun challenge to play, though. It should be good. I'll see you guys in a second.